What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. On today's agenda, we have got, of course, one of our star players linked away from the club. As you can see from the title, we'll be discussing Adam Wharton. How much is he worth to Palace right now? And also an update on a potential signing that we were talking about. It is looking less likely now, and that is on Kamada. We'll be explaining why, and as always, answering your questions at the end of the show. If you do want to get involved, put in a Q and a dot, and we'll be pinning them and answering them as we wrap up the show. I'm joined by T here. T, what's going on, man? South London and proud, just relaxing. Work, you're saying it's going a bit quiet, but with Palace, hey, it's going to be the opposite this summer. It's going to be the opposite, right?
Yeah, the beat moves on, man. always something to talk about in the world of Palace. Seems like
100%, 100%. Look, today we are on a bit earlier than usual than the 8 p.m. slot that we try to stick to. Sometimes we're a bit earlier, a bit later, because of the Conference League final. You never know, T. One day, the Conference League final at 8 p.m. on
speaking to fruition, man.
We might be there doing a watch along. We might be at the game. We might be at one of these games.
You gotta speak it into fruition, man.
Exactly, man. You gotta believe. You gotta believe. Without belief, what is the point of even being there? And you know what? Let's get started with the first news of the day, and that is on our star player, Adam Wharton. So the latest reports from reliable sources, I'll say, both the sources today are coming from pretty decent ones, is that Bayern Munich are interested in Adam Wharton as part of the club overhaul. And it could be a big summer for Wharton as Southgate considers him for the midfield role. Look, we're going to be linked with players away from the club. Adam Wharton, at some point, was always going to be rumored to be linked with a move away from the club because of how good he is. And now people are noticing him. He's got that England call up as well. But T, are you actually surprised about how quick he's been rumored away from the club, considering he's only joined in January?
Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest, man. I mean, when you show your quality, when you have success, like it doesn't go unnoticed. You know what I mean? Especially when you're a young guy. So if you're an exceptional talent, people are going to see you, and people want to be interested in you. So I'm not surprised by it at all, to be quite honest.
Yeah, for me, it's about he's joined in January and he's got a talent. He's got a talent, and I've always said it. Even like throughout the season, we if we wanted to sell him, even I don't know, in April or May, we would have doubled that price tag. And right now, I think we're going on the lengths of tripling in it. But as always, get involved as well with the conversation. Animal saying, end of the day, he's under contract, and no matter what his valuation is, he's worth more to us. We'll make Bayern pay, and they will back out. We're discussing whether we're worried about him potentially joining Bayern as well. It's not even 7:35 yet. Exactly. It's not 7:35. It's an early one today. So if you're watching on replay, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Unless, of course, we'd like to have dreams here. 7:35, bit earlier, but can we hit 200 likes? Can we hit 200 likes by the next day or so? Let's get the likes of people to help the algorithm and help grow the channel. We are very close to the 5,000 mark, very close, only about 300 away. So let's see how quick we can hit it. We are going to have rumors all summer. Exactly, we are going to have rumors all summer. But talking about rumors, we haven't really spoken about Eze or Olise yet, T. Are you surprised that Wharton's getting into the conversation before the likes of Eze or Olise, who... Well, there has been one or two reports about Olise is either Man United or Chelsea, but the wording of that just didn't sit right with me about it's either Manchester United. Like, what do you mean it's either? He's not 100% determined to leave. Like, what do you mean? I don't know about that. But apart from Olise, I mean, no other big player has been really rumored away. Mark gave a few moments here. I mean, it's been fairly quiet so far since the season ended. I know it's still going to be a long summer, but Wharton being mentioned by the Independent, a reliable source, as a buying interest, is that a bit of a surprise?
Like I said, I'm honestly not surprised by it, man. I mean, I think for some people in our fan base, it may be a little bit more surprising that we're getting guys that are getting interest so often and so much. But the more talent that you bring in, the better product you put out on the pitch. Naturally, is going to invite people to be interested. So I'm honestly not surprised by it at all, man. I guess, some of the, like you said, some of the reports or some of the lack thereof, especially like with somebody like a Mark Gahey, for instance, who I would say is the odds-on favorite by a lot of people to be the one that actually leaves this
Palace
summer.
fans like me, yeah.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of talk in reference to him leaving, especially being that he's got the 2 years left on his contract. So
Do you think the Euros, just sticking with Wharton, do you think the Euros plays a massive part to his value as well? For me,
absolutely.
I don't know though, because I just feel like if you watch Wharton, you just know that he's got the ability. He doesn't, even if he's not selected by Southgate right now, we just know he's going to be an England regular. Like that is going to happen. That's for me. It's simple. That's going to be the case. But
But
yes, short term it might do. But then again, realistically, with Palace, I think we don't really care how much if you get selected by England or not, because our value is going to be high regardless.
yeah, I guess, but I guess when it comes to the negotiation table, though, D, it's a difference in saying, oh, he's going to be in England international eventually, compared to saying he is an England international already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we find ourselves at the negotiating table with a Bayern, for instance, and they're throwing out numbers and we're like, hey, this is our evaluation and here's why. I think the evaluation of, hey, he's going to be a future international doesn't hold as much weight in contract negotiation or transfer negotiation as saying, hey, this player is a capped England international player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess so. Naturally, of course, if he plays for England, maybe the value goes up a bit more. But I think in terms of our valuation from the football club, I think we know that, and even though he's not in England international technically just yet, we know that he will be. I think our valuation is already set at that price, whereas maybe the other clubs, they might take him a bit more seriously if he gets that cap. But I think it doesn't really change on our end of things. Now, talking about valuation, let's get into it. If, this is true, which is from a reliable source. I mean, it's not saying that they are going to put in a bid, but there is interest from Bayern Munich. How much is Adam Wharton worth to Palace right now to you?
100 million? 100
100
million.
million.
Yeah,
Let us know in the chat as well. Get involved. £100 million. How much is Adam Wharton worth right now? So what's the minimum amount? Because 100 million to a neutral might sound absolutely crazy, but to us Palace fans, we understand why. Because that's what I mean, though. 100 million. Maybe some people may say, oh, it's not an England international just yet. He will be if he has to prove himself at a bigger level. But I think our valuation is probably near that level because we already know that he is going to be worth 100 million. Well, he feels like £100 million player already.
And the fact that we don't have to sell him, like we don't have to sell him. He has he just signed he's still in the first year of a 5-year deal that he signed with us. Like,
I mean, it's not even been a year. It's been like 4 or 5 months.
Literally months. Like, we don't have to sell him. And if anything, right now, his value is skyrocketing. It's at the absolute top. So no, I mean, I think and his ceiling is so high too, similar to what Animal said on there. I don't think it's far-fetched at all for us to want that type of money for him.
Yeah, for me, I think the worst case scenario, he says, let's say that Adam Wharton says, I want to leave Bayern Munich, interested in Bayern Munich, are willing to put in the bid. Let's say that happens, and he's desperate to leave. He's like, if I don't leave, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm saying, literally the worst case scenario. If I'm not going to leave, I'm not going to play for Palace. You still don't sell him for less than 60, 70 million pounds right now.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, Adam.
I think the minimum value is 60, 70 million pounds right now, which is crazy because we only bought him for about 20 to 25 with add-ons, etc. about 5 months ago. And we're talking about a player that's already 60, 70 million pounds potentially. I don't want to sell him. I don't think there's any reason to sell him right now. His ceiling is high. And if we were to sell him, I think eventually he will turn into that 80 to 100 million pound player. 100%. Maybe next season that might be the case. We'll see with the Euros and what happens then. But there isn't any need, as you said, T. And keep him. Try to build him on and try to. And also, if we were to sell Adam Wharton, it kind of gives a negative message to the likes of Eze and Olise. I mean, if you're telling them to keep it for one more year, be here, you want to play with the likes of Adam Wharton in your side. If you're Eze Olise, like you know that player can bring you to that European football level. So if you want to show ambition, which I think we will do, we're going to put in an unrealistic price tag. Realistically, I'll be honest, we might value him at £100 million, but I don't think any club right now would bid that kind of money for Adam Wharton, because from the outside looking in, he's only been in the Premier League for about 4 months. He's been very good in that 4 months, but he hasn't still had that England cap. And, you know, maybe some teams would want him to prove himself a bit more before they do pay that kind of money. But for us, we don't want to sell him. If you do want to pay that, which I don't think no one will, and that's why Adam Wharton will remain a Crystal Palace player, unless something drastic happens, then you do set that price tag of £100 million. And look, next season, just quickly on Wharton, we're going to have him alongside Doucouré. We haven't, if we think the midfield is good right now, with Will Hughes on Wharton and Lerma on Wharton, just imagine next season putting Doucouré next to him. I want to see that. I don't want to sell Wharton without Wharton and Doucouré playing midfield together, because both of them, what they can do on the ball and how press resistant they are, they're going to be important for us. Like, they are both European caliber level of players, Doucouré and Wharton. On the front of them, you had Eze and Olise. I mean, those four just there, just amazing, and we need to keep that. But next season, I mean, Doucouré and Wharton is going to be up there. They are going to be up
huge. It's going to be huge for us.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're going to be one of the best midfield duos in the Premier League, and I think a lot of neutrals will realise that. Callum saying £120 million for Wharton. If he gets us Europe next season, I could see us getting 120 to 145 million in the summer. That's a lot.
I mean, if you think about it, talk about a team like Bayern, for instance, their most expensive transfer they've ever done is 95 million euros, and that was for Harry Kane. So they would have
Harry Kane.
What I'm saying is they would have to significantly probably break a transfer fee record to get their hands on this guy. And I don't think they would want to either. That's why I really don't pay the news headline much mind, because I don't think that they may have interest in him, and they very well might, but I don't think they're going to be willing to pay what we would want.
Well, they've already been rejected by Palace with Glasner. If you want to get rejected again by Munich, then feel free. I mean, if you want to get double embarrassed, feel free. You know, double rejection in one summer. Big Bayern Munich getting rejected by Crystal Palace. Feel free to step forward and feel the pain again. Henry saying, I'm sorry, but there's no chance him leaving when he only joined in January. Maybe if he has an excellent next season, it's a possibility. But right now, no chance. I agree. I don't really see him leaving either, regardless of interest. Mitch saying, yeah, agreed. Doubt he goes to summer unless Bayern are real interested and offer so much we can't say no. Probably 10% chance or less. Exactly that. I don't think Bayern Munich will offer the price that we want as well. But yeah. But look, send in your questions, whatever questions that you have. Of course, let's try to keep it Palace related, football related. But if you have any questions, put a Q and a dot and we'll answer them towards the end of the show. Now, let's move on from Adam Wharton to a player that we've actually spoke about a few times this week. Well, since the season's ended, and that is on Daichi Kamada, who, according to Fabrizio Romano, is on the verge of signing a new deal at Lazio as the verbal agreement is now in place. Lazio are waiting for Kamada to sign, as he also received a proposal from Palace. We spoke about him this week. It was from Lazio Space, so not the most reliable source that Palace were willing to put in an offer. But clearly, it seems like he wants to stay at Lazio, and somehow Lazio is going to match the offer where, you know, Lazio Space, the source, was saying that they can't, but then again, it's not the greatest source. Thoughts, Steve, because, you know, you were excited about this player, considering, you know, he's played in the Bundesliga. Glasner might know him as well. It could be a good backup option, good experience as well. It seems like it's not going to be happening, as, you know, Fabrizio Romano saying that he will be remaining at Lazio. I said Lazio like 50 times, it feels like, because of the talk called Lazio Space as well.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if it was just agent talk to get him to be able to sign a new and improved deal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it was a very interesting contract agreement to begin with, because it's not often that you see a player sign a 1-year deal like that with an extension clause built in that's for another 3 years, which is what his was. So it's very interesting situation. I think was it Stan that mentioned in the group chat that it could be tax related. The fact that he would be paying a lower amount
Yeah,
of taxes in Italy as compared to coming to England and playing. So there may be some situations and circumstances to it that may have made it more lucrative for him to stay there and be a part of Lazio than come to England. But I guess this is the ups and the downs of the window itself, is the fact that you're going to see things come and go, and what's a possibility, what's not, and what things will move fast and which things won't go our way. I mean, we've been fortunate with what we've seen early on with Chatty Riyadh, and maybe this one is just not one of the ones that goes our way, but maybe something else will soon. Who knows?
yeah. But when you look at that position, maybe as a backup to first of all, actually, before I ask this, where do you think he would have fitted in this Palace side? Where do you think we're actually targeting by being linked with him, if it was true?
Well,
anyway?
In Glasner's system, he played in a majority of the time in an attacking midfield position that Olise and Eze play in. He's a really good passer, scores some really good goals. If you watch him, he actually has a very like Olise, I mean Eze type style. He kind of glides by guys. He's pretty smooth. So, but he does have experience playing both in central midfield as well as some time at center forward too. So he was going to be a very versatile player.
Yeah. And do you think that we need to improve depth in that position? Do you think that should be the target for the club this summer behind Eze or Olise? Because we have France there who didn't really get opportunities because of injuries under Glasner and Roy. Let's say about it a bit it is, but yeah, I mean France is an option, maybe Jez as well, and Ayew. Do you think that we should be targeting that position for depth?
Maybe not on the front end, because like you said, I think that we do have some legitimate depth there, but at the same time, we have a new manager who may not view certain players in the same light that we do. It may be true that Glasner likes França a lot, and he feels like he could be a key piece moving forward behind a guy like Eze, or maybe he's not too keen on him. He wants to bring in somebody that he's got experience with, and that's why the interest from Kamada was there. He's played Ayew a lot, especially when Olise wasn't healthy. So there is a level of trust with him there. I mean, I would say out of a lot of the other positions, this isn't one that has a high amount of need for us. But I guess the opportunity to have a player that has a lot of familiarity with Glasner and a lot of positional versatility was something that you couldn't pass on, that I think we had to give an honest look into.
Mm-hmm. And I think
he was free.
Yeah, he was free as well. So I think that's what it is. It'll be good. Just quickly, we're going to be answering the questions. So if you have any questions, send them through and we'll be pinning them and answering them in just about a few minutes time. If you're enjoying the stream, people, let's try hit the like button. I know there's not that many people here right now, but I know a lot of you watch on replay. 200 likes is the objective. Let's see if we can hit it. It helps the algorithm. It takes a second of your time. So thank you to every single one of you that has done that. B-Ray saying controversial comment, but I don't think Doucouré is best suited in the midfield too. I could see him dropping to centre back when fit. What?
That's an opinion. That's an opinion.
You agree?
I mean, Czech Doucouré has shown that he can be in a midfield 2, a midfield 3. I think the only area that Czech Doucouré has shown that he lacks in is very similar to Adam Wharton, and that's in the final third, which is something that I think they both can work on. So I think that I don't know. I think that he is a midfield monster, along with a guy next to a guy like Wharton. Man, they could be something really, really special, man. I mean, those are the type of guys that they're versatile enough and they can do enough in your midfield where, yeah, you can only have two, because both of them are going to defend at a high level. Both of them are, as what people would define to be press resistant, because they're really great passers. They're good with the ball at their feet. Like I said, the biggest knock with both of them is that they don't score a lot of goals and they may not have the biggest impact in the final third. But we got a lot of great goal scorers ahead of them that I think can handle that duty. So,
what about Lerma? Gurav asks. Look, it's going to be a backup option. I've said that. I think he's going to.
He's about to be 30 years old too. You know.
Yeah, he's versatile as well. He can play in defense. I don't think we'll need him in defense after Chadi Riyad actually signs for the club, which hopefully should get announced. I doubt this week. It's most likely going to be next week at this point. But so I think Lerma is going to be a very good backup option. I'll be honest, I might be getting carried away, but the way I'm thinking right now with the squad, I'm thinking about how can this squad compete in Europe, and that's my mentality right now. So when I look at it like this, I think Lerma is the type of players that you want in your squad if you do want to push for a European spot.
Because he's a heck of a player to have step in. He's a heck of a player to have step in midweek and play a European match for
quality depth. He's quality depth that you want. So
and the same thing goes for a guy like Chadi Riyad playing at the back for you too.
Yeah. And just quickly landing on the Doucouré debate. I think Doucouré's got the ability to play in the midfield too. I think him and Wharton have similar aspects to their game. I think they're very good on the ball. They can read the game very well. Defensively, they can track back. I know going forward, they might lack that clinical edge in the final third, but in general, with the passing play, Doucouré can still make forward passes, some very good forward passes. They're
going to be able to assist on plays.
Exactly. Imagine having Wharton and Doucouré in that system. It's going to be much harder to defend against than the likes of Will Hughes or Lerma in that system, because Doucouré is a better technical player than both the players that's been playing alongside Adam Wharton so far. So I think Doucouré will fit that. I have no worries about it. And I think he's got the engine as well to play as a two. I'm genuinely so excited for that midfield too. I am, because I think it is going to work.
That is going to be very, very fun to watch.
Very good. Exactly. It's going to be fun to watch, and it should be working as well. Now, let's go through some of the questions. If you have any questions and want to get involved, make sure to put a Q and a dot just like everyone else is. And if you're enjoying the stream, let's hit the like button, people. Thanks to every single one of you that's done that. James, first question. If we did sell Wharton, what's your current realistic price tag? We already spoke about it. For me, at least minimum, let's say £70 million. Worst case scenario, but realistically, that's £100 million player for Palace. I think Palace would sell him for probably around 100 million, which makes sense for us. Another James makes gains, saying, is speculation more fun, borderline addictive, given the new manager? I can't help be engaged with all of it. What do you make of speculation, T?
It is fun. It is fun and borderline addictive, James. I think a big part of it is because we know the potential of this team, and we've seen, like, we're coming off of an end to a season that's probably one of the best ends to a season overall that we've had in a very long time. So I think we ended the season almost at a fever pitch. You know what I mean? I think it's like I remember you saying, it's like, man, like, this has been one of the few times where, like, the season's over with and, like, I'm kind of mad that I don't get to watch Palace next week.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you end the season at very much a high point, and you're seeing what this team can do against higher quality competition, or get like what we did against West Ham, what we did against Liverpool, what we did against Aston Villa to close out the season. And it's like, no, we want more of this. And now we're in a position where we can add guys to the mix. We can bolster areas of weakness for us. So it's like we have a way to go from really good to even better, and what the potential for that means. So yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to think about because you have this manager and this team.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. You have this manager and this team. You have this team that's kind of proven himself right now under Glasner, that they can perform. They can, go hopefully to the levels that we want them to be, which of course the aim should be, top 10 next season, and for me, Europe as well as it stands. And now this summer, it gives us the opportunity to see how serious the club are, which by everything so far, we are heading in the right direction. Glasner rejected Bayern Munich. We've got Doug Friedman rejecting Newcastle. And it's easy to say the managers rejected it. Managers rejected Bayern Munich. Doug Friedman rejected Newcastle. These are big projects that they are rejected. And I've been heavily critical of the board for lacking ambition for the Roy appointment and keeping it for longer. And I did say that this summer is going to show us where we are, if we are going to change our approach. But hats off. hats off to those running football club, such as Steve Parish, in right now for what he's doing, because he's clearly selling a plan to the manager, to Doug Friedman, and everyone's on the same wavelength. We want to push on. We're not going to win every single game, but we want to see ambition. And so far in the window, despite having 0 signings, I know we're going to have one relatively soon. Everything off the field in regards to the manager and director of football, they are staying here because they have had good conversations, of course, with the owners, and they are happy with the project. So hats off to them. And hopefully this summer we can put everything into plan and make it work. I don't want to be here on deadline day talking about, oh, we want to sign a striker, why haven't we signed them? But so far with the defender situation, it seems like we're about to sign a defender. And I haven't, when's the last time Palace have done business this early? So everything.
I don't think I've ever seen us this early.
Exactly.
I mean, we got Fabrizio Romano's first "Here We Go" of the year. Like,
what we want to see, ambition. That's it. Just ambition. Try to push forward. And so far, even though we haven't, as I said, confirmed it, we are heading in the right direction. It seems like, based on everything that we're hearing. Gurav saying, can we bring Robertson from Fulham? I don't think he would want to come to Palace to be backup option. Mitchell, because I think he's good enough to start.
Exactly. And he's been doing that, and he's an international for us in the United States. I don't see that one. I don't really see that one. Being quite honest with you.
Yep.
Really good player though. Let me not say
realistically, exactly. He's not going to come Palace to be a backup option. And also, we'll see what happens with Adam Roller. Omar saying, do you reckon we sign an Edouard replacement? If so, who? If not, do we give France a real go with good minutes next season? So I think if Edouard was to leave, we do sign a replacement.
Yeah.
In terms of who, God knows. I genuinely don't know, because there's so many strikers out there. And in terms of France as Edouard's replacement, I think that's what you're asking. For me, I think 2 different players, 2 different positions. So, I don't think Edouard leaving gives France some more opportunities, because I think France will be the backup option to Eze next season.
Mm-hmm.
But for UT, if Edouard was to leave, do you reckon that we will sign a replacement, or would it be like
for sure? I don't think. Well, first and foremost, I mean, I think we definitely want to have 2 first team caliber strikers. Maybe not necessarily 3, but definitely 2 at least. And losing Edouard means that we need to have somebody step in there. Now, how does that look? Do you move and take a guy like IU to be your second striker, and then maybe bring in another attacking midfield player, or do you go and just sign an outright striker? I mean, I think we would go out and sign an outright second striker. To be honest with you,
is not an option for me. You can't have IU as a backup striker, letting go of Edouard. If you want to improve the squad, then you don't, because it's not proven in front of goal. So I think we do sign a replacement. But who that replacement is, right now it's not obvious, because we haven't really been linked with any strikers. I know we spoke about Edouard being available.
The only one I've seen is Thierno Barry, the kid from Basel. That's the only one I've seen.
And that's been like quiet. It's like
that's been a while.
So nothing really with the striker. So I know we've got time as well. I mean, it's not like this.
Absolutely.
We got months. But let's hopefully. And Euros, I wonder Euros if they play a part as well to transfers. But I guess.
Because I think we've made our one concerted move or effort to make a move prior to the Euros to hopefully grab a guy before his valuation changes in a Riyadh. Then after that, now we have to kind of wait until see how things shake out in that international break to see whose value's gonna skyrocket, or whose may go down, or may
Gay's one goes up. Let's see, but I think Gay's one. I think that's what we're banking on. I think Gay's one goes up. I think it's high as it is right now. But
because I think he'll be starting. I think he'll be starting for England. I think he's gonna start and play minutes for England.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think he's one. I think that's what we're waiting on, and then he'll be rumored to leave. That's my theory, anyways. And I'll be surprised if he stays at the club. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Michael saying, I believe that we should hold on to as many of our players as we can possibly do this year and see how far we can get. It'll be a long time before we can put such a good team together again. 100% agree. 100% agree. And from what Glasner said, from what hearing from the club, it just seems like in general that we don't need to sell. So let's see how many players we can keep at the club. But then again, we can't be silly as well. And I look at the Gay situation again. I know I mentioned Gay a lot, but if he has 2 years left on his deal and he doesn't want to sign a new contract, you don't really want it to run to the final year of his deal. Then you kind of lose a bit more power than you have right now. So yeah, you also have to be sensible. So yeah, I mean,
I agree.
Contract, then that's great. Keep everyone here. But the Gay situation, I'm keeping an eye on.
And I agree with what Michael's saying here, except for the last sentence, because honestly, with the way that we're trending and the way that we've changed our recruitment model, and the way that Dougie is going out finding talent, bringing it in, I don't think it'll be a long time before we can put together a team this good, because we're going to continue to bring in really high quality players for affordable prices. So I truly believe that our trajectory is in the right way. And honestly, and this is speaking without the fact that we still haven't really started to reap the benefits of our academy truly yet either. You know, we haven't had an academy guy break into the first team yet and really become a starting 11 caliber guy yet. So I think the trajectory is going the right way for us.
Yeah, it is. James has a question again. James Make Games, what a name. Simple, straightforward, direct. He said, pretend everyone stays. What position do we need to add to or improve on to make us better and give us the depth that we need? We kind of spoke about this before. I think this is like a whole video worthy. I think we might. I was thinking about
it. Really is.
Video.
It really is like just for more content.
Yeah, exactly. We might, but just quickly, T, what off the top of your heads, the positions that we need to strengthen if everyone was to stay.
If everyone was to stay, it's right back and left back.
Yeah. Then again, I'm looking at right back at Imre. I don't know. I just have a good feeling about that as a backup option. I think that could be a player that could get promoted. And left back, what happens with Adam Roller? Let's see that as well. Midfield, I think we're fine with. France as a backup to Eze. Maybe Jez, Ayu to Olise. Yeah, and if we have Edward there, then even though
he said keeping everyone. That means we keep the same two strikers.
Exactly. That's a question. If you're giving everyone, exactly, you probably wouldn't. He has another one saying he wants a cup run. Should we target the League Cup for easier European Conference League or the FA Cup for more ambitious Europa League? Right now, give me any cup.
Yeah, I think we should take each one very seriously. Each one should be taken very seriously.
Exactly. And I think realistically, the Carabao Cup, you take that more seriously. That's at the start of the season. Everyone's kind of focused on the league. The big teams don't take it seriously towards the end. We have to take that seriously. Carabao Cup should be seriously. All cup competition for Crystal Palace should be serious. We've done well in the FA Cup, but haven't got to the end in terms of winning it. I know we reached the semi-final and the final, but the Carabao Cup, I think it's been a bit disappointing. We need to take that a bit more seriously next season. Because that should be where we start.
I would take that Conference League berth any day of the year.
Forget about Conference League berth. I want a trophy. I just want a trophy. I just want a trophy. Let's start somewhere and get this damn trophy in our cabinet. I'm tired of looking at photos. I got a photo, and in our trophy cabinet right now, when I look at the photos, there's a radiator at the back because it's barely filled up. Like you can see the radiator. Like I need a trophy. That cabinet needs to be filled up. Give me anything. Invite us to a Sunday League tournament. Just give me anything right now.
The young guys got you one. That should help a little bit.
Yeah, but they're not going to put that in the cabinet. Did they put that in the cabinet?
I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty big trophy. So
the Carabao Cup, we should be taking it seriously like it's the Champions League. We need to go all out next season. I want to see that August game. I know there's going to be an August game, late August. I want us to go with a strong lineup and go at it. Like I don't care who we're facing. Come on, let's take it seriously and aim for a cup next season. I think that's what will make it even a better season than we had towards the end of the season. Dan saying, who is the left wing back we are linked to? I can't find any information on that. We're not linked to anyone. That's why.
Here we are. Archie Brown.
Oh, the guy that looks like he's 10 years old.
No,
Oh,
no, no. Archie Brown looked like a grown man.
oh no. Okay, there was a
Yeah.
Scotland international as well. I thought you were
Oh
talking
no,
about
that's
that.
the old. Is that the old? Is that the? Oh, I know who you're talking about. No, but no. Archie
He
Brown
was
is
about
the
10.
Archie Brown is the England. He's the England Youth International that
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. He plays
Switzerland
for.
to Belgium. He plays for Jink. I think it is Jink or Gink.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's other clubs rumored after him as well. I think
Yeah,
there's
and
other
then
clubs.
I don't know if it's fan conjecture or if it was actually a report. I can't remember. But Ryan Sessegnon was another woman that was out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was Ryan Sessegnon. Yeah, but then again, I don't know if he would want to be back up. I guess he would want to play somewhere regularly. JB saying, do Ozo and Raksaki get loaned out this summer? So on Sunday there was a few players that Alan Nixon reported, but it just wasn't worth doing a show on. Youth players that could potentially go out on loan. We could quickly have a mention of those players that I reported. But for you, Ozo and Raksaki next season, I mean, we spoke about the midfield already in the show, T, but we didn't mention Ozo. And I mentioned Raksaki as potentially as an Olise backup, depending on the IU
And,
situation. So,
and
what?
you didn't mention Ozo, but there's a reason why you didn't mention Ozo. It's because we have a stacked midfield. Because
So what
you
happens
know,
with him?
I think Ozo gets
He's got
loaned. I
ability.
think he gets loaned. I think it's the best thing for him because he needs to be getting first team football because he's one of the he could be one of the really good future pieces to our team. But we just discussed about not having a guy really make the breakthrough yet from our academy. He could be that guy, but he needs to go somewhere, be playing grown man first team football week in and week out in order for him to develop and for us to have a chance to move forward with him because we're seeing Adam Wharton's not going to be here forever. He's already getting that interest. Doucouré, once he comes back and shows that he's healthy and starts doing what he was doing
He really
before his
had
injury,
interest.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
he's not going to be here forever. So the important thing for us is to be developing our talent, not only finding other talent and bringing them in, but we need to develop the guys that we got right now. And Ozo is a man. Like he could be
yeah. He's
unbelievable
physically
for us.
built. He's
Yeah.
physically built to
So
play at a
I
high
think he
level.
needs a loan and here's the thing: we gave IU another contract. We gave him another contract extension. So for me, that immediately puts Jez into that situation where yes, he needs to go on loan because of
Yeah.
the fact that he shouldn't be the third option on that right side. Now, if we can't keep Olise, the conversation changes. But
Hmm. Then again, yeah, I think I don't know. I'm confident that we'll keep Elise. I don't know.
mhm,
I'm confident that he's not going to go. Yeah, for me, Ozo goes out on loan and Jez goes out on loan as well. Jez more so than Ozo because, but then again, one injury, then you have IU there. Let's say Elise gets injured, who was injured last season. And I don't think it's particularly his fault because I think he was mismanaged more than anything, even though the
mhm.
neutrals also don't think that he's injury prone. But let's say that scenario does happen again, T, then you just have IU left down the right hand side.
You
Mentally, then
also
what
have
happens there? Would you not need Jez?
well you could also move Franca over to the other side, and you have Schlupp to step in on the left hand side.
Hmm.
So we've got guys that we can make it work with, and not be in a situation where the covers are completely bare. You know what I mean? So either way, I think with a guy like Jez needs to develop. Same thing I just said about Ozo. He needs to be playing grown man football in the championship or somewhere similar, week in and week out, developing so that he comes back to us because we're not going to be able to keep uh, Olise forever, and IU's getting older.
Yeah, he is. If you're enjoying the stream, people, please hit the like button. Can we get over 200 likes to those who's watching on replay as well? And let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's keep going through the questions. As always, if you just joined us right now, go to the start of the show so you're caught up on all the latest news of Palace today, and then you can skip forward here as we discuss all questions. Let's go through the next one. Adebayo as Edward replacement. Is he ready just yet?
That would be a good one. That would be a good one. I think AJ was talking about this one with me, and that's a good one because he's on a relegated team, so we might be able to strike a deal for a good price. And I think with where he's coming from, the situation he's coming from, he probably wouldn't mind being in a situation where he's in the number 2 role, and then getting spot starts here and there and different things like cups and things like that. Because once again, if Mateta comes out and has another season similar to what he just had, people are going to be ringing our phone and try to get him too. So Adebayo wouldn't be a bad move. What do you think?
Yeah, it just all depends on the interest and the fees involved. Because as you said, they have, he's with his side that's been relegated. It's just a matter of, I'll be surprised if it would only be us. And do you think he would fit into Glasner's system as a player? Because I do think his profile does.
His profile does, and he works hard. He's not a lazy striker by any means. So I think he would do well with the high press and things too. So I think he's like about 6'2", so he's not a undersized striker. So I haven't watched a lot of him, but I would expect that he can probably have a pretty decent hold up game. So
it'd be good. But we need proper depth options next season up front, because this season I don't think Edouard just gave. I don't know. He scored goals, but towards the end, especially on the Glasner, I think Mateta, of course, was fantastic. But next season, you can't expect Mateta to start 38 games and score 40 goals. Like, he needs proper depth options.
There's going to be a lot of appearances to be made. Yeah.
Glasner needs a striker they trust, and it seems like he doesn't really trust Edouard at that level. So if that's the case, then we just need to solve it, because next season we can't have a striker that Glasner's about 50-50 on right now. Ian saying Munoz or Mitchell, who's better? So who's better at what? As an overall as a player?
I think that's the question. Who's better at what? I think they're
as a player, who's better
to the team
right now? Who do you think is better, Munoz or Mitchell?
I feel like that's really. I think is it subjective? Is that the word I'm looking for here? I feel it's really subjective, because I guess all around, I would go with Munoz, because Munoz is a good defender and a great attacker. And I think that on the other side, Mitchell is a great defender and a decent attacker. Now, I think if I'm thinking about it in terms of things, Tariq's maybe a step under him. Like if Tariq becomes a little better, maybe a little bit better attacking, then he's right on par with him. And he's younger, so that's another thing to take into account as well. But I mean, naturally, we're blessed to have both of them, so I really don't see the need to compare them. And they play two different positions, so
yeah. Let us know in the chat what you think as well. But I think they're both very good.
Oh, there was one
maybe
thing.
Munoz offers a bit more going forward. I think Munoz maybe offers a bit more. But then again, Mitchell under Glasner has improved going forward as well. And I think he will only improve.
I just wanted to point this out, because there are people in the chat talking about strikers and talking about Cameron Archer. Villa doesn't own him. He's not a Villa player anymore. He plays for Sheffield United. Sheffield United purchased him. So it's not about whether Aston Villa would sell him.
Did I have a say?
He's not an Aston Villa. I haven't seen anything about it. They sold him for 20 something million euros. So I wouldn't know anything about that. And he's being relegated with Sheffield, so I don't know. But I mean, he might be an option, but he's not a Villa player. I will say that.
Yeah. I'm also saying, do you worry that with more ready to play incomings as we progress? With more, I think, ready to play incomings. Do you worry that with more ready to play incomings as we progress, we lose academy players we like because they need to play? I think not every academy player is going to make it, and I think the club know that as well.
I think that's the thing that you have to realize. Not all of them can make it. But then
again, we want to get fees off the ones that don't make it as well. We might not be significant, but it's some kind of return on the investment that we've made on them. So. Look, if they give an opportunity in preseason and they show themselves and prove themselves, then Glasner might give them the opportunities, especially in training as well. I don't think Glasner's the type to not give players opportunities because of their age. But
he's giving young guys chances.
We will lose academy players. We will lose academy players. That's just going to happen. That's just natural. It will happen. Yeah. And some of them that we lose, we might look back and say, why did we lose them? But when you have that many players and when you want to aim for the top end of the Premier League, it is going to be hard. Like, you have to look at academy and you have to look at some of these players and say how many of them could actually play for a top 10 side in the Premier League. And I think a few of them potentially makes that cut, but not all of them will. And that's just the reality of life. Why is there no chant of American boy to Richards? I don't know. We haven't got. It's a shout. I mean, if you want to create it, feel free. Maybe go on Twitter and post it and see what people say. But I mean, we struggle to create a chant for Joel Ward, and he's been at the club for God knows how many years. So I don't know how long it will take for Richards to get his chant. But it's a shout. I'm envisioning it right now in my head. It's in my head. It could work. It could work. Owen was saying Olise release clause is £60 million. A lot of United and Chelsea sources think they'll trigger it. But from what I read, it involves UEFA Champions League football, which would mean a bigger bid. What's your magic number? I don't know if it's Champions League football. I think there is a twist in this release clause. I think that is there for certain, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. I don't think it's just a case of Champions League football. And I'm not going to pretend I know what it is because I don't think anyone does. But based on what we've seen in terms of the reports, it's not as straightforward as the £60 million and they can buy him. But let's say if there was a magic number and the release clause is out of the window, at least say minimum £80 million, £100 million.
And here's the thing: Chelsea struggled to make the deal and didn't do it last time. Now he's got a brand new contract, more years, and probably even more hoops to jump through with the buy clause. So who knows?
Yeah, let's go through last couple of questions, people. Then we'll wrap up. If you're enjoying it, like, subscribe. You already know. To help the algorithm and grow the community, which it has been. We're very close to 5,000, very close, about 300 away. So let's see when we can reach that. Scott Banks and Luke Plange, do we loan them out again? Scott Banks is left.
Yeah, Scott Banks is gone. He's at St. Pauli. They bought him. And Luke Plange is on loan.
Yeah.
He is on loan right now with HJK Helsinki. Their season they didn't start their season until recently. So he's at the beginning of the season with them right now.
Exactly. And Come Natural saying who starts and goal next season? I think it's going to be Henderson. I think it'll be Henderson. Sure. And we haven't spoke about it. There's a question now. I'm going to answer that. We haven't spoke about it. But, Johnston could leave this summer. I don't think this Henderson Johnston thing on paper sounds great, but both want to be number one. I don't think it works.
And I don't have a problem with that either because number one, Johnston has shown that when he's healthy, he gets picked for the England international, and the fact that whatever we do with him as far as transfers is going to be profit because he was a free player.
Yeah. Ian saying Ian Wright just left the BBC. Should we sign him? Bring back Righty. Oh my days. I don't know if you've seen about Mark Bright. Jeez. News everywhere. Bright is left BBC and Mark Bright is on Twitter. Have you seen his messages on Twitter?
No, I have not.
Whoa. That's for you to go check out.
You said Mark Bright?
I mean, there's a bit of Riz involved. So he's It caught me off guard. Brighty was getting in there last swimwear. I think that's the best explanation. But right, I'm not too sure if it would.
Oh, Brighty, you.
Yeah. Hey, the man, he's no shame, man. He just jumped straight in.
Yeah. As long as it ain't illegal. That's cool. All right.
Yeah, bring in right to back of the nest. Yeah, you can be match analysis. Base Brit that says, do you think France is ready to step in for Olise, or is it if one of them was to leave? I don't think he's ready to step in like that, but in the future
he might. But then he might get the chance. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. But look, we're gonna wrap up now, people. I know a lot of you joined just now, and I know we started a bit earlier than usual, but we'll be back.
No, Somerville not for left wing because we don't have wingers on our team. And we're not going to pay $40 million for him either. So no, we're not going to get some. Yeah,
we're not going to get Somerville. But if you just joined now, make sure to go to the start of the show to see all the latest news today. Of course, about Wharton, we discussed that, as you can see from the title, and also Kamada. What's the latest with him? Is there a possibility that he can still sign for Palace? We answer that question as well. If you have enjoyed this, like, subscribe, watching on replay, comments comment down below in the comment section. And that's it. That's it from us. And we'll be back whenever there is Palace news. So make sure to turn on the notification bell to not miss out on that. Until next time, up the Palace.
Palace.